Keep our politicians fighting. How do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
All right, welcome everyone to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here live in the WYSL until 1 o'clock. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, our friends who are listening online over at the Free Solution Facebook page. And we're joined by several guests today, too. We're joined by our friends from the Liberty Show. We have Kevin Fortune, Damon Kennedy, and Tim Smith. Welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Not all at once, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's great to have you guys here again. Of course, your show is on our flagship station of here with A Free Solution on WYSL. The first Saturday of every month. So when is your next show coming up? What time is it? And just really quickly what it's about. And then we're going to talk about the main subject of the day. But just to Kevin, promote yourself for a second.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. of Rochester time is going to be the Liberty Show. And this show this month is about the chaos, the riot, the happenings at the Capitol back in the first part of January. And then actually, to piggyback on that, we're going to have a special show the next weekend called Love and Liberty. In honor of my birthday, I'm born on Valentine's Day. And in order to have liberty, you got to have love. So it kind of coincides because what I wanted to talk about today, Kevin, is that the word liberty, and I noticed in your intro, freedom and liberty. Freedom and liberty is being just stolen, the concept, the term. And a lot of negative events have come across or being enacted using the word liberty and freedom. So we talked about it not so much from a political standpoint, but, as a libertarian or a person of liberty, we believe that you have the freedom to do anything you want to until it offends you, harm someone else, or take their stuff. So going into the Capitol, harming people and taking people's stuff, stealing, and that's not, the liberty and freedom. And so I just wanted to bring that up because I have gotten more phone calls this week. One of my best friends, like Kevin, they actually had on a national television show that libertarians and the Libertarian Party is one of the most violent groups. And I'm like, that is totally not true.
Oh, yeah, there's John Brennan who was saying that, the former director of the CIA. He was lumping, he's like, oh, yeah, and fascists and racists and libertarians. Like, whoa, what? One of these things is not like the other.
Right. So we just wanted to talk about that and to bring that up because, the true definition of being a person of liberty or libertarian is that, you do have the freedom to do, but also you don't use force. We don't use force in aggression. We believe in the non-aggression principle and even deeper. So people are trying to steal our ideology, and we need to not defend ourselves, but just, clear the air on that.
Yeah, no, so that sounds like that's going to be a great show, and definitely looking forward to listening to that. And again, if you're listening here on WYSL, you can tune in tomorrow night, Saturday at 7 p.m. to listen to that. And of course, you can always catch it on the Liberty Show Facebook page as well, your YouTube channel, and I believe you guys have a podcast too.
Yes, we do.
All right. So thanks, Kevin. And again, it's always fun having you guys here once a month to just talk about a whole bunch of different things. And one of the things that's taken up a bunch of news today, and I think is interesting, is the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, who is a newly elected congresswoman who was just stripped of all of her committees in Congress. She was stripped of her committee assignments, and she had gotten herself in trouble for a handful of kind of conspiracy theories that she was promoting in the last few years. And I think the most famous one, we were talking about this before the show, is, and if you Google like Jewish space lasers, she was promoting this conspiracy theory that the governor of California was working with the Rothschilds to use a energy collection device in space to start the California wildfires, to clear the area for high-speed rail. And so she believes in a couple of these things. She's like a QAnon person. So I want to ask a couple questions, which is one, is she a victim of cancel culture? Are we all just getting whipped into a frenzy because the national media has picked a villain and we are going after her? Or is this a sign of a changing GOP? Should we be concerned about this? And so, Kevin, because I know you can only stay here for the first half, I was going to ask you what you thought first about all this stuff, and we'll make sure we get to Tim and Damon too.
Well, being the king of liberty, I get all these questions. You would not believe the phone calls and emails. But I like to bring it from a larger perspective because I'm also a political strategist, and a lot of people are asking me, what do I think? First of all, it's really funny. The vote was pretty much down partisan lines. And to me, I don't think the Republicans have learned their lesson. After the election, when people told, basically said that we didn't appreciate the way you've been doing things, and then after the riot on the Capitol, instead of them saying, we were wrong, distancing themselves, they're still acting like nothing is, just shaking it off. And it's really they're shooting themselves in the foot. And that is the biggest thing that people, I know locally here in Georgia, they did a whole thing on the news last night about her. And they were interviewing people in her district, and a lot of Republicans, mostly Caucasians, they're distancing themselves from this chaos. Of course, the news media has always attacked people. That is nothing new on both sides. It's just really funny that a lot of the congressional, especially the Senate, the leaders are like, they're attacking her. It's all partisanship. But yet, when they do the same thing, it's okay. So, it's two sides of the same coin. Both parties have done this. Just like when they were doing the vote on Biden's, his stimulus, and they're like, the party, they're pushing it through. But yet, when they did the same thing with the Supreme Court decision, they pushed it through. It's okay for them to do it, but it's wrong for the other side to do it. So, I know that's a long answer, but what you've done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say it's all political grandstanding on all this stuff, right? Like, I think I want to do a both sides thing because I think there's some unique concerns about this person that makes me wonder why the GOP doesn't reject her in the same way that they rejected like the John Birch Society way back when. But yeah, there's this grandstanding nature to it, as you kind of indicated, of like, hey, the Republicans are, getting upset about this stuff now, but hey, they did the same sort of stuff a couple years ago, right? Like, it depends on whether or not you're in power, and now the Republicans are going to start saying like, the Democrats are just trying to ram stuff through, blah blah blah. I mean, it's the same cycle over and over again. I think most of the American people are sick of it. We just don't want to hear it anymore. Like, just go and be competent, work together in ways that make sense, and if they don't, then that's where you stand on principle. But most of it feels like a show.
Well, I agree with you, Kevin, but there's one point I have to disagree, but one little that most people are sick of it, but there is a base and a group that aren't. They love it. And that goes back to your question, why are people allowing this? Why isn't the Republican Party rejecting it? Because this gives them some ammunition. This gives them a case to fight for. It gives them a cause. It gives them a lot of donations. During the riot at the Capitol, you would not believe the money that was pouring into, I call it the GOP, but, in the political PACs, the whole gamut of the coffers, So there is a base for this stuff that loves this conspiracy theory because they have no evidence. They have no science. They, and it's the people who they fear they're losing power. Her district is pretty much in North Georgia, very rural, very Caucasian-based, very, I wouldn't say racist, but a lot of people who don't, appreciate diversity, people who, they just feed into this kind of stuff and they love it. Even if it's
I don't know anything about that district or the people in there, but what I do know is like, so I see people like this in the entertainment industry, right? I see people like in the liberty movement. They'll say outrageous stuff because it's entertaining. I mean, the fact of the matter is like you can say a whole bunch of outrageous stuff, you can get people mad, and that gets people to follow you. It's really good at getting people riled up and hanging on your every word. I've never been like one to do that, and maybe that's why I don't have as many followers on Twitter as I could. I'm not there to rile people up and get people mad regardless of the evidence. I want to think stuff through, but that's boring as heck, Kevin. That's
Well, and Kevin, but once again, that is true, and I agree with you. A lot of people do that for entertaining, for attention, but some people actually believe it. And like I said, living in Georgia in the Deep South, it's really different. You really have people that believe the election was stolen. They really believe that the big
there's people all
like
over.
Atlanta,
It's not just Georgia.
But I mean, like that are. I'm just saying, from her district that live in the big cities that's primarily black, that they're still in the election, that they're trying to take. You have these people who have a lot of them are older white Americans. They grew up in segregation. A lot of them, not a lot, but some have the white supremacist attitude and things like that. And I'm just saying all of them aren't like that, thank God, but they're feeding into that discussion. And that's something we can't leave out, that there are people that love what she's saying. They love, like my example,
sure.
On the immigration, we have some problems with it. Let's deal with it. I'm not 100% for open. I wouldn't just open my house to let anyone come in. But to criticize Mexicans, to criticize Chinese, they love some of this racial jargon or hate language. Does that make sense?
Well, Kevin, I think we do need to get going to a break in a minute, but we'll pick up that thread, and we'll keep going on that in a few more minutes. So thank you so much for joining us here on A Free Solution. We'll be back in just a few with our friends from The Liberty Show.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
When you've been seriously injured in a car crash, you need a lawyer who knows how to beat the big insurance companies. Call me and I'll take them on so you can focus on your health and family.
Car crash, call Salino. Salino, call Salino. 888-2020.
Main Street, Rochester. A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passers-by are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to Simple Tech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that Simple Tech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at Simple Tech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at Simple Tech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, friends, who are listening online at our Facebook page, A Free Solution, our YouTube channel, Free Solution. Make sure you subscribe there, or the Kevin Wilson page, or the Kevin Wilson Twitter as well. And, of course, shout out to our friends listening down the line over at WACK out in Newark and WENY, the Patriot, down in the southern tier. We love having you here. Glad you could be a part of this discussion. And if anyone ever misses part of this show, just remember, you can always catch the podcast too. Every podcast service has us. Just look for A Free Solution, and all of our episodes are there. All mine, all of Larry's episodes, all of them. So if you ever want to go back, we got, including the Radio Free New York ones, back in the day too. We got all those there too, the whole archive. All right, so Kevin, we were talking about the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, and we were talking about our district. You know, again, and I do want to give Tim a chance to talk too, but I'll let you finish up your point. You know, where does GOP go from here? Should many people listening to this show, I'm sure some might agree with her. I've had a few friends who have said like they were upset with the local congressman John Katko voting to remove her from her committees. So a few of my friends are on that path, and they see her as like a victim of a media conspiracy. I mean, should she have to own up to her actions? Can a member of Congress who has access to the national media get canceled?
Well, there's several questions that I'm going to be very brief. I liked yes, she needs to own up to her actions, and I think all politicians do. We need to really, and I've heard you say this so much, Kevin, we need to hold our elected officials accountable. And that's something we haven't done. And now that they are, they want to cry, woe is me. And to your original question, and I'll be through, where does the GOP go from here? They've got to do some real life, real world self-examination, look in the mirror. They have made mistakes like all of them, but all of us have. But in order for them to stay, they have really done a lot of damage to the party. It's so split. Most of my friends are Republican, GOP. But the biggest thing, they've got to start practicing what they preach. If they talk about liberty and freedom, they need to put it into action. They use it. They want liberty when it's for them, for the GOP or for their race or for people of their wealth or, in their circles. But you've got to have liberty for everyone. And if you don't, you're going to begin to lose people, and we're seeing that happen.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a very real possibility. And again, I was part of the Republican Party for a while too, and I kind of felt like they were moving away from me. And I look at this now more objectively. I don't feel like I owe a loyalty to my tribe, and I think there's like an anti Marjorie Taylor Greene sentiment too, where people feel like they need to defend her because she's anti-establishment and therefore she's part of our team. I don't know, and people like her too, or people like, well, you got to choose between her and Liz Cheney. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have to choose either of them. It's fine to choose neither. It's okay. But Tim, I want to get you into this conversation too, though. Tim, I've thrown out a bunch of stuff. What are your thoughts?
Well, Kevin, I want to first thank you for inviting us on again. We have the King of Liberty. We have Damon, the Prince of Liberty. And of course, I am the Duke of Liberty. Speaking of Marjorie Taylor Greene, I am appalled of the 11 Republicans who voted to strip her of her committees. And the reason for that is Marjorie Taylor Greene simply misspoke. She identified the Jewish Space Laser Agency as being the cause of these wildfires. She simply misspoke. She really meant to state that it was the Alien Space Laser Agency, the ASLA, who are responsible, who we should be upset with for causing the California wildfires.
Oh, small correction.
Yes. We should make note of this, that she just simply misspoke. It was the ASLA who are responsible for firing their lasers and causing the California wildfires. To the point of cancel culture. This is just another example of the mainstream media silencing the voices that stand against the political class, the wealthy class, and the elites. So I personally am offended that we are even having to discuss why Marjorie Taylor Greene should be canceled. She should not be canceled.
That is a bold stance there, Tim. Maybe a surprising one. The aliens are the ones causing it.
Yes. This is the Alien Space Laser Agency that's responsible for this, not the Jewish Space Laser Agency. This was not their fault.
All right. What's that called? Oh, Poe's Law. That's what I'm thinking of. When you can't tell the difference between satire and reality. I'm experiencing Poe's Law right now. But, I mean, I'm looking at this too. And actually, a lot of this stuff I would find really funny if it didn't have actual, like, dark roots in the whole Jewish space laser thing. She also said things like, well, initially she was saying that 9/11 either didn't really happen or it was an inside job. She said, like, the Pentagon thing was fake. And now she says, yes, 9/11 really happened. She was calling all the school shootings at Newtown in Florida like false flags. She's got a few things going on here. There's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff happening with her. And so do you want to continue defending this congresswoman who is saying these things that, well, they're not based in reality?
To defend her is an interesting position to take, because here we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, and to where I sit, she represents the voices that for so long believed that the Republican Party had forgotten about them. So to cancel her, from my point of view, is to cancel those voices. And Kevin, you've been on the Liberty Show, and we've been advocates of poor whites.
Yeah.
This is the phenomenon that we saw with Trump. Trump, as far as I can remember, and I'm only 30-something years old, he was the only president who said, I love the white, college uneducated voter. And I believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene, she reaps the rewards of those white, uncollege educated individuals. So will I defend Marjorie Taylor Greene as an individual who has been elected to Congress? I fear that if we throw her under the proverbial bus, we are also throwing under the proverbial bus the voices of poor whites. And those are the individuals that every liberty-minded person, political party, i.e. the Libertarian Party, should be courting. Yeah. So yes, is she stone cold crazy? Of course she is. That can't be argued. But we have to be careful how we throw her under the bus and then back it up and roll it over her. Because I don't want to alienate those poor whites, because those are the individuals that we need to reach out to and build our footing to bring liberty to everyone. And this is what the Democrats and the Republicans don't want. And this is what I saw transpire during the vote to strip her of her committee meetings. It wasn't because she's just stone cold crazy. It was because she had the voices of those that weren't being heard, the poor whites, supporting her. So the duopoly, both the Republicans and the Democrats, see that as being a threat. And this is what we are going to experience, and what we recently have experienced during the Trump campaign and the Trump presidency, is that the mainstream media, the political classes, the wealthy classes, has done everything that they can humanly do to divide the poor whites from blacks and brown people.
All right. No, that's a very interesting line of thinking, and I do want to pick that up when we get back, because I want to talk about what does she represent in terms of populist outrage that connects itself to these different types of conspiracy theories, and then what is the best way to address that if it needs to be addressed, and how do we take the concerns of the voters who supported her seriously? And I know Kevin is like not a fan of the voters who supported her, but like you're looking at it a bit different. So thank you, Tim, and thank you everyone from the Liberty Show who is joining us today. Tim, Kevin, and I think we have Damon back on, hopefully. And we'll be back here on A Free Solution in just a few minutes to keep talking about this.
Celebrate your freedom. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for today. A gusty wind will be developing out there, mostly cloudy skies. There'll be some showers of rain over to snow as temperatures fall into the 20s and low 30s later today. Lake effect snow tonight near and west of Rochester, several inches possible. Flurries elsewhere in the teens, some local lake flakes, cold day on Saturday in the 20s. I'm Rich Cadilia, WYSL.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
Because your future is worth it. MGM Associates Insurance. Proudly serving the region since 1984, MGM can meet your coverage needs, ranging from home, condo, and auto, all the way to specialized policies for business, workers' comp, to limo and taxi insurance, and coverage for tech professionals like IT specialists. They can also help lead you through the confusing maze in the new world of health insurance coverage and options. MGM Associates is large enough to serve you, but small enough to care, so you don't have to wait in line on some 800 number to get prompt personal attention. MGM Associates is the only winner of the National Best Practices Award 5 times in a row. MGM is proud to support veterans groups, including Heroes Home Advantage. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, put the experience of MGM Associates Insurance on your team. Locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield. 381-7008 or mgminsure.com. An associate of Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty, Route 227 in Trumansburg, New York.
Geneseo Hardware and Rental has a new expanded location on Route 28, east of the village of Geneseo. Over 6,000 square feet with a large selection of plumbing, electrical, home and garden, and much more. Geneseo Hardware offers Valspar paint, a wide selection of rental items, plus screen and window repair. Get personalized service at the new, bigger location. Geneseo Hardware and Rental, Route 28 next to Wegmans Plaza. Visit geneseo-rental.com.
Gift certificates now available.
An experienced professional with more than 15 years in dentistry, Dr. David Olivo welcomes new patients to his family practice at 2005 Lyle Avenue. At the office of Dr. Olivo, you'll discover a warm and comforting environment staffed by professionals who are committed to providing the best available dental care while assuring your complete comfort. Call 328-3382 for an appointment. Dr. David Olivo, offering quality dentistry with a gentle touch.
Searching for a school with 5-day-a-week in-person instruction for students in grades pre-K through 12 that doesn't compromise your traditional values? Archangel School is the answer. With small class sizes and affordable tuition, your child will receive an education that's Common Core free, academically challenging, authentically Catholic, and faithfully patriotic. Come to Archangel School's open house Friday, March 12th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. or schedule a private tour at archangelschool.com or call 585-247-1112.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Contact Sharon Quartert Realty. If you're wondering what your home is worth in today's market, the Sharon Q team is happy to provide you with that value and an overview of the current market trends in your area for free. If you're looking to buy or build your dream home, we have the knowledge and experience to guide you through the process. We have earned the trust and confidence of thousands of happy clients and would love to do the same for you. Visit SharonQ.com or call us today at 900-1111.
Livingston County Pizza offers a full gluten-free menu and bakery along with their regular menu, so your family can enjoy their favorites, including burgers, sandwiches, and even hand-breaded onion rings and Friday fish fries with their dedicated to gluten-free fryer. Livingston County Pizza, you won't believe your belly.
It's time to put your liberty into action. Come and listen to The Liberty Show here on WYSL Voice of Liberty on the first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. This month we'll be talking about the chaos at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. Hope you're able to tune in.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host here today, joined by our friends from The Liberty Show. Shout out down the line to our friends listening over at WACK out in Newark and WENY, The Patriot, down in the Southern Tier. Glad you are here. And also, shout out to our friends listening online, too. Please leave your comments, participate in the discussions. You know, the question I asked today is Marjorie Taylor Greene a victim of cancel culture? And, Tim, you were talking before the break about kind of, instead of condemning what's happening, just trying to understand what's happening. Is there a legitimate outlet here for populist rage? And a lot of times conspiracy theories will manifest when there is a deep distrust of expertise in governments. And I think that governments and experts, particularly in the COVID era, have helped facilitate that mistrust. And again, this is some of the things she says is a manifestation of that. And so if that's the case, and if a lot of this stuff is not true, and most of it's not true, what do political leaders and people like us, what should we be doing about it, thinking about it, if anything at all? Or should we just kind of let it go and observe it?
Again, I think it's understood and accepted that Marjorie Taylor Greene is crazy. But even though we know she's crazy, again, we have to acknowledge how she got in the office. She got in the office. She was elected by individuals, specifically poor white individuals, who believed that they weren't being heard, that their needs weren't being met by those that are elected into Congress. So personally, I don't believe that we should cancel her, because to cancel her is to cause these individuals who believe that they weren't being held, that their viewpoints weren't being listened to also be canceled.
I mean,
so
isn't she just facing consequences for her actions, though? I mean, like Congress can set its own rules on committees and decide who's able to participate in the process once there and at what level. Isn't that just a consequence?
So I see that as being a fallacy, if you will, because here this individual was elected to Congress, and then the insiders, the political elites, have literally taken a vote to cancel her in these committees. So they have literally canceled the votes, the voices of those individuals who have elected her. They knew she was crazy when they went to the ballot box, but because she was standing up for them, they voted for her. So should Congress have the ability to cancel the voices of those individuals? Heck no. And this is the problem that I see with Congress. Sure, she's crazy, but the fact that a crazy person can be elected to office, and then we had this conversation about, oh my gosh, this crazy person is elected to office. What type of craziness is she going to bring upon the country? To me, that shows and demonstrates that Congress has too much power over my life as an individual. So hopefully, Marjorie Taylor Greene causes a conversation within the nation as to the question, does Congress have too much power over our everyday lives? And that, I believe, is a much more important question than, is this lady bat crap crazy? Because clearly she is.
Thank you for keeping it PG. And on that point, I do agree with you. I do think Congress has too much power over our lives. And if we're worried about people like her or anyone else, or Biden or Ilhan Omar, whoever, yeah, we should give them less power over us. That's the solution. Let us live our own lives as long as we're not hurting people or taking their stuff. So thank you, Tim. I do want to make sure I get to Damon too, and I know we have Patrick on the line as well. But let's get to Damon first, because I know he's been waiting. Damon, what are your thoughts on all this?
My brain hurts. I mean,
Among the
here's
rest
the
of us.
thing. So, I believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene, is she being canceled? No, she still gets to get paid six figures off of the taxpayers' backs. So the only thing that she's not able to do is be on the committee, of which one of them was, wait for it, education. As crazy as she is, she was actually on the committee about education. Let that sink in for a minute. And if you do not believe that our system is screwed up, there it is, in full view. As Tim said, though, I mean, if the people are dumb enough to vote for her, that is what it is. Okay, but she's not being censored. She's still able to have her voice as an elected official. She's just not on committees. So the committees are not a right; they're a privilege of being in Congress. And if you're that crazy where you're killing the Republican brand, then it is what it is. Now, let's not for 1 second think that the Republicans have found Jesus and have all of a sudden found principles. No, they're doing this because they know this is way past anything they've ever wanted to do.
Well, only 11 voted to remove her, or 10. However many. Yeah,
right.
It wasn't all
so
of them.
Because what they're still trying to do is they're still trying to, they have no backbone. So really, the Trump phenomenon is because his supporters believe that Trump has a backbone. Now, we intelligent people can understand that Trump is a lifelong con man. So if you want him to, if he wants you to believe something, he takes what you believe, he'll say it, whether he believes it or not, he'll say it. And so he said it so resolutely that his supporters believed him. And that because of that, there are a lot of people who voted Republican for a while who were tired of the milquetoast Republicans who said, Trump is my guy. He's fighting for me. He's fighting for himself. But if you're dumb enough to think he's fighting for you, fine, whatever. So the thing is, the Trump brand is taking over the Republican Party, and the people are the elected officials in the Republican Party are too cowardly to reject Trumpism because they want to be as close to that as possible. So a rejection of Marjorie Taylor Greene would be a rejection of Trumpism, and they want to get reelected. So they didn't do this on principle. They did this because it's just way so far beyond the pale, they had no choice.
Yeah, so in that case, a few stood up. And again, I know you're probably making some of the listeners mad, but that's all right. It happens. I do that about once a week. It's all right. And before we, and I hate to give you such a short time, but I do want to make sure I give Patrick a chance to speak as well. Patrick, you still with us?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little bit low, but I can hear you. So make sure you speak up.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me. I did want to shift gears. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene's probably been discussed to death here. So wanted to shift gears to something that's happening in the media, and that's Biden's executive orders on immigration. I think it's up to 10 or 11 now that he's done, and a lot of it, most of it, is rescinding what Trump had done. And I was a Trump voter twice. I would consider myself a conservative, so I liked a lot of what he did with immigration. So just want to see what your thoughts are about what Biden's doing, and then maybe counter with some of what I think are the shortfallings of what Biden's doing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, real quick, like the executive order thing, like I don't like that we govern that way, right? Like Obama did it, and then Trump did a bunch of executive orders in response, and now Biden's doing even more executive orders to rescind Trump executive orders and then do some of his own stuff too. I generally actually like the direction Biden's heading with this stuff. I'm more of a not quite open borders, but pretty close to that guy. So like I like that the immigration ban, the so-called Muslim ban was taken away. I would like to see it easier for people to be able to come here legally and open up skilled workers to be able to come here as much as they want, because I think it makes our country a better place. But what are your thoughts, Patrick?
Well, my thoughts are this, is that we're moving quickly towards automation, right? And you see it in all sectors, agriculture, manufacturing, you see it everywhere. Even the typical low-skilled jobs, fast food, whatnot, they're all moving towards automation. So my thoughts is we're importing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of low-skilled, low-education people into our country, and what the heck are we going to do with them? Where are they going to go? How are they going to better themselves? And I know that they're going to have their hand out for us, and it means our families' prosperity and opportunities will essentially be sacrificed at the expense of the third world. I know that's very
Patrick, do you think it's a zero-sum game, like the economy?
Well, in many ways, just the way we're shifting, I tend to think so. What are these people going to do? I don't mean to say these people, but what exactly are they going to do? By one hand, we're facilitating these people into the country. At the same time, we're importing job after job after job that they could be doing to places like China and Mexico. We spend millions of dollars in foreign aid in these countries to better the situation there, and it never gets them. It goes into the politicians' pocket down there, and they just import their troublemakers and the people that are just looking for a better life up through the countries into our border, and it drops the problem that they can't solve or are unwilling to solve right into our laps. You can drive through any major city in America and see all kinds of people that are having a tough go at life. They're not where they want to be. They don't have the opportunities. They're struggling. Why are we not taking care of those people first? America first is one of the things that Donald Trump said, and a lot of that is common sense to millions and millions of Americans. Probably 74 to 76 million Americans thought that way. It's important to right this ship first before we start trying to fix other countries' problems out there. So that is what I'm seeing the big picture here with Biden's policy is it's very reckless. Not to mention there's a viral pandemic going on right now. California has no ICU beds, none.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell me that isn't because they've got unaccounted for undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them, but they're not part of the system, for better or for worse.
Their government has plenty of problems. I would say that their issues with ICU bed management and the coronavirus management stem more from just the progressive hubris of thinking that lockdowns work and the destructive policies that governments enact there. But, Patrick, you and I, we should do like a whole immigration show. I think you made the argument well. I don't agree with you, but I think you made the argument well. Maybe we'll talk another time about this. But coming up next, we do have Fake News Friday. So we'll be back here on A Free Solution in just a few minutes.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, "He is my refuge and my fortress, for he will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease."
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
It's Fake News Friday. All right. Welcome back, everyone, to A Free Solution. We're joined by our friends from The Liberty Show, Tim, Damon, and Patrick as well. And, of course, Fake News Friday is where we read off headlines and we decide if it is real news or fake news. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Here's the headline, or at least the sub-headline. Thursday, gun control activist and Parkland shooting survivor David Hogg announced that he would be starting his very own pillow company to combat the influence and reach of rapidly pro-Trump MyPillow founder and CEO Mike Lindell. Real news or fake news? Start with Tim. Real news or fake news?
That, sir, sadly is real news. David has decided that he's going to create his own pillow company to push forth further anti-gun legislation. Very sad day for America.
Damon, Patrick, real news or fake news?
I so want to say that it's fake. I want to say that it's from The Onion, but with everything going on right now, that's real. That's real news.
That's real.
That's got to be
Patrick,
fake. Yeah, that's got to be fake.
It's got to be fake. No, it is, in fact, real news. That is his intention, anyway. It is to create the anti-MyPillow, because everything has to be political nowadays, including your pillows.
Calling it Our Pillow.
Our Pillow. Oh my God, I hope that's true. Is that? Oh, please be true. That would be a great name. If not, he should get that. Our Pillow. Yeah, no, I mean, do you guys buy your pillows based on the politics of the owners?
We actually are a MyPillow household. We will be buying more MyPillows because we despise the name of Our Pillows.
That's as good of a reason as any to purchase your pillow products. I for one, I always buy like just the cheap like Target or Walmart pillows that come in those giant like stacks. To like dig one out of there. That's all I get. I just get those $10 pillows. I've never purchased a MyPillow. I'm sure they are comfortable.
They are comfortable. I've got one at home.
There you go. So we got a couple MyPillow advocates here, and so I got to ask, why do you guys hate America? Kidding. Although it's some of the stuff. It's, and I'm not going to go into this, but like if you guys can watch, there's an interesting interview Mike Lindell did with Newsmax the other day where it turned into a mess. Newsmax is trying to cover their butt and not have him talk about election stuff on there, and they end up like talking over him and kicking him off the show. And you're supposed to be there to talk about Twitter censorship. It is an interesting moment in time.
Well, he does embody the American story though, because I believe that he was a drug addict, right? Living in the street, and he picked himself up by his bootstraps and got himself clean, started his own company, and he is where he is today. So it really does seem we're in an environment now where an American hero, in many ways, is being demonized because of his political beliefs. So I think it's more nuanced than maybe what the media wants to give it credit for. Everyone's just supposed to hate him now because he's pro-Trump or he's trying to get to the bottom of election fraud. But at the same time, he did what any American down on their luck would dream to do. So I do find it a little chilling that we're really, well, not we, but aside of the political spectrum, nearly the entire media are going after this guy like he's some demon. I mean, there's some very bad people out there. I don't think Mike Lindell is a bad person, someone who needs his product pulled from stores and to be demonized, to be called all these different names. It is what it is. It's the environment we're in right now. I understand it. But I think we need to be looking at the big picture here and say he's someone that was down on his luck, and through the American way of life, the American system, he was able to better himself and to build a brand that is pretty well known around the country.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. And again, everything's political nowadays, and that's what it is. That's how everyone filters all their decisions, from pillows to coffee to everything else. All right, but I don't want to use up the whole segment on this. Damon, I know you had a fake news item as well, or a potentially fake news item. What is the headline?
Who will ever know if this is real or fake? But New Hampshire politicians ban pets from remote bill hearings. Is that real or fake?
So they ban pets from remote. So like you can't have your pet in the background in like a Zoom meeting?
That is correct.
I'm gonna go with fake.
Fake. There's more pets on planes and passengers these days. The last few times I've flown, so that's got to be fake.
Okay, we got two
I'm
fakes.
going to go with that's true.
Okay,
because I find watching other people's pets much more entertaining than listening to them drown me in boredom on Zoom calls.
And the winner is Tim. Okay,
Tim, it is true.
Representative Anita Burrows, a Democrat from Glenn, New Hampshire, said her cats, Yoshi and Jack, have made appearances during several recent House Commerce and Consumer Affairs Committee hearings, including Wednesday, when Yoshi's fluffy black and white face partially obscured her own as he moved in for some attention. No one objected at the time, but a colleague later passed along a message from the committee chair, Republican Rep. John Hunt of Rindage. So, there you go. There you have it.
Can't have the pets. I mean, that's the best part about being in Zoom meetings is like when your dog or your cat comes into the things. That's what makes it entertaining and feel more human.
Right, and then so what's next? Now you can't. Now you got to wear pants in a Zoom meeting. Come on, is there no freedom to working from home, working remotely? Come on, people. Stop.
We have to hold the line on pants, if nothing else.
The CNN contributor probably would have been better had he worn pants, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah, no, I all right. Do what you're gonna do, New Hampshire. All right, Tim, do you have one? We only have a couple minutes left. All right.
Here's the title: I vaccinated Santa Claus. Fauci tells kids.
That's real. I'm gonna go with that. That's real. What do you think, Patrick? What do you think?
I'm gonna go fake.
Damon?
Fake.
Fake.
Okay, so it is actually true, kind of, sort of.
That he
growing
said
up,
it.
I was told that Santa Claus wasn't real. So Fauci apparently is now telling me that Santa Claus is real. He's giving me hope. But the reading from the CNN page states that luckily for children everywhere, the nation's top infectious disease specialist is on the case. I took care of that for you because I was worried that you'd all be upset. Dr. Anthony Fauci responded. So I did a little while ago. I took a trip up there to the North Pole. I went there and I vaccinated Santa Claus myself.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, Santa Claus is real.
Santa Claus is real, and Dr. Fauci made sure that he got a vaccine so we can go around the world to deliver presents. There we go. There's something good in his book. All right. So I think we're about out of time. But again, thanks, friends from the Liberty Show, Tim, Damon, Patrick, and Kevin, who had to go earlier. We appreciate you being here, and make sure, again, you listen to the Liberty Show. There's a new episode tomorrow at 7 here on WYSL, or you can catch their podcast or the YouTube or the Facebook page for new episodes there as well. Appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much.